Hey folks, Ken here. Oh, just been doing a bit of work on the pond yesterday. I'll explain what I was doing. Just looking around the pond yesterday, and it's not, thankfully it's dried up, but there was a huge, you can still see it there actually, although it is going, huge amount of dampness around the skimmer that I hadn't really noticed before, and you can see there seems to be a bit of a leak. So what I did was I dropped the water level and I take 7s. You can just see there I won't take just all around the mount and around the sides of the skimmer with the Tech 7. So hopefully that sorts it out. It's again no obvious place where the water's getting through, but anyway, Tech 7 to the rescue. Then there's the window. You'll remember I showed you this patch I had around here. Now, as soon as I drop the level of the pond is usually up around here. So what, it's 4 inches, 3 or 4 inches below where it normally is. As soon as I dropped it within a half an hour, visibly, this all dried up. So that would suggest that the problem is at the top somewhere. So I got out a sponge and I just cleaned down this part. Now you can see there's probably a little bit there. I might put a bit of Tech 7, although putting Tech 7 over old Tech 7 is not a great idea. Might try and put a little bit there and see if there's a hole, but there's nowhere obvious as well. You know, somebody mentioned pinholes in the fiberglass. Now it is possible, but I'm in a hardish water area, so you can see all this calcification. I'd imagine if I had any pinholes, they'd probably block up fairly quickly. The other side, just looking, there's a couple of potential places along here. If you look there, for example, now could be potential, but I don't want to drop my phone into the pond. It wouldn't be a good idea. You know, you end up Tech 7 for the sake of it almost, but it's kind of out of the way. The skimmer's not too pretty, but having said that, it's you know, you're not going to see it. It's black Tech 7 on a black pond, and it all covers up with algae and calcium deposits and everything eventually. So that's the pond. But very, you know, God, it's just what I'm going to do as well is I'm just wondering, have I got the level of the pond too high, especially for the skimmer? I think I've said before, you know, I wasn't thinking ahead with the skimmer. The skimmer with the lid on it should have been up here, and when I put it in, I took it at the level of the blockwork, not where the copings were going to be. Now, not the end of the world, but it means it's probably an inch lower than I would ideally like to have it. So I'm just thinking a part of my problem here is the fact that maybe the water is just too high. Now I can adjust it very easily. This is the overflow for my trickle out, so I can just adjust that fairly easily. So I might just drop it down an inch or so. Now that could also solve my problem here. There is damp over the other side that is drying up, and I'm fairly sure that's coming from the skimmer. It's right along the wall there. You know, there was obviously a fairly prolonged leak. I mean, I don't think wherever this leak is here, because the water, it comes and goes, and the water level goes up and down as well. And I'm just wondering if it's something up where the water was here, and if the water level drops down slightly, then it stops leaking and disappears. So I will put a little bit of Tech 7 on that now and just see. So you'll notice that I have the water level dropped. So what I did with the drum was, I'll just show you now. Water, even though the temperature is, well, it's not really down, we're still, I just want to turn off the shower because it reduces the noise. But what I did with the with this was I just dropped the float down. You can see the marks there where it normally is. I just dropped it down temporarily to allow it to work, otherwise it just keeps washing continuously, and that's kind of at the absolute minimum. I did have the pond a little bit lower and the float down there, but it kept washing, so I had to increase it. It's right up almost to the edge of the skimmer. But that's why, yeah, I just this leak stuff has me puzzled, as I say. I was full sure my problem was around the bottom of the window, because I don't see any, well, not that I see or notice there, like there isn't, might be a little bit of green there, but I don't notice any dampness here. It appears here. Now there is, yeah, around here, but then water can soak up in the blockwork and all the rest. That thing in the middle is just a mark. When it rained, for some reason, that's where all the rainwater came down. I think if I put the power washer on it, I'd probably clean it. And then I have a crack here, which the builder did have a look at, and he said no, it was purely the see, there's a bit of damp there as well, although it's not damp, actually. It is. Is it damp? It might be a little bit damp, but again, that is definitely drying up. You can see it dry. That was all completely damp, and I'm fairly sure now, before I put that, so you know, that was one of the places that there as well. Just looking, this getting the Tech 7 in there wasn't a huge success in that corner. I might try it again some other time, not today. Like the water has to go somewhere, and that was one of the places when the rainwater hit this, or there was water coming down on the top of the window. It did come down there anyway, so it's just the water has to go somewhere. But that's it. So that's it. I'll let you know if I've any luck, but we actually have a water, there's waterworks locally, and the water pressure is very low. So anyway, I'm not going to top up the pond today. I will leave it until until tomorrow, so it gives me a chance maybe to stick a little bit of Tech 7. As I say, the pond is working. I just have no skimmer, obviously, but the covers are on. It's not the end of the world. But other than that, you can see the fish are doing well, and they're even still looking for food. I might throw in a tiny bit of wheat germ for them. Say the filter's going, so it doesn't matter. I did as well try moving back into the filter house. I do have one of those. I know I've seen a couple of guys use them online. Is for the power washer. It's a sort of a long tube that has a nozzle on the end, and it is designed to go into a pipe and then sprays. You sort of push it in, and it, when you operate the power washer, the spray comes back, so it actually propels it down through the pipe, and then you can sort of pull it back and it cleans out the pipe. And what I tried to do was to get it into my far bottom drain, but unfortunately it only goes in a couple of meters, so it seems to get to a bend in the pipe, and I'm sure that bend is only 45 looking at my build photographs of this, but it won't go any further. It just gets stuck, and I pulled it back and tried nudging it along, but can't get it any further, and nothing comes out anyway. Tried it as well on the near one to see, which I'm fairly sure is the spin drifter at the back. Same problem, went in a couple of meters, gets to a bend in the pipe, it won't go any further. But there you go, it was worth a try. Although I think my water pressure is back up, just looking at the trickle in. It's at 0.22, which is in or about where it was. It was down around 15 this morning because the water pressure was down. So anyway, I think I'll use the opportunity to do a bit more Tech 7ing before the Tech 7 goes off. I opened a new tube yesterday. So that's the leak update. Again, if anyone has any suggestions or anything to look for, I know from advice a couple of people said putting Tech 7 over Tech 7 is not a great idea. Well, I'll give it a good clean and try it. I'm not you know, if you start cutting it out, you nearly have to cut it out the whole window, because otherwise you're always, you know, making a join between the Tech 7. So I'll give it a go and see if that works. Okay, until the next time, thanks a lot. Cheers.